All right, so the other thing we're going to look at with text is how to create this look where it looks like the text is kind of embossed into something, pressed in or raised up from a surface. And so we're going to do that first by taking our 2H and our HB and just doing a nice, even light layer over everything. So I've drawn it lightly, and I'm going to get a really nice light base layer over everything before I go in. And if I see anything that needs to be totally white, I'll leave it white. But I think only aside from this little highlight right here, everything else needs to have at least a light gray with my 2H and then my HB. And then we'll pick up from there. So here I've gone ahead and I've added just a light layer of shading with 2H and then HB. And I went over everything. So now what you're gonna notice is I shaded over the text too. So now if I look, I need to look at these kind of interior shapes where it's darker. And that's where I need to go in and start to not draw on my letter, but kind of go around or inside. It's those gap shapes that I need to now bring to the same level of darkness as all around. Now I'm going to go in and I really want kind of the outer edge, well, really kind of the interior shapes, the negative space to go. And then I'm going to kind of darken all around my letter and then those empty gaps in between my letter. And I need to really pay attention to the exact little shapes so that I don't make my text too big or accidentally overwrite where I'm supposed to have a letter. I could easily lose my A if I'm not careful. So I'm kind of going in and I'm shading everything that's not the letter. I'm just darkening those so that then inside my letter is the original light shade, but still a shade. And I'm going up and around. And then I can hear. Now I'm noticing already, obviously, I got my writing out of line with the top of this highlighter marker. So I'm trying to pull it up a little bit and adjust it, but it's going to be a little bit different. And you know, that's okay. I can go in and I can have some adjustment. But I'm trying to darken what is not my writing so that my writing stays a little bit lighter. And that's great. It's coming along. And I could fill in all of this. I won't make you watch me do all of this because that would take forever. But I'm going in, doing my nice even circle so I get a nice smooth shade. Now we good. Now I can go in with my 4H and I can start to push things down. Now my letters still look pretty bright, so I might even want to go in and darken them a little bit. Now I might want to leave, there's kind of these little highlights, so I might leave them, you know, not so they totally blend in, but in a couple places I might darken them a little bit, but then I leave a little bit of highlight behind. So they're going to blend in a little bit more in places. That's going to help them feel 3D. And then the other thing is, where is there a little bit of a shadow? And that might be where I take my 4H, or 4B, not 4H, what am I saying? 4H, and start to shade in a little bit more near the edges of my shadows. Or of my letters. Man, I have lost the ability to speak. I'm recording this, it is almost 8 at night, so it's been a long day teaching, and I'm a little out of focus, I think. But you can see I'm going in, and as I go and I start to push my values a little bit darker in places, these start to feel a little bit more integrated. Now, if I want to get really fancy, I can go in and I can work on this text down here. And I'm going to try to write it by only doing the outline, the outer edge, and not really, I'm kind of going like around, like leaving what I think would be letter, and I'm leaving that empty and kind of getting the letters that way. And it kind of worked. I probably should have pre-sketched those and prepped them a little bit more. But that's okay. So as I go and I just keep pushing my values, I'm looking at, I keep bumping the camera that I'm recording on with my pencil. It's a little awkward. But I'm going in and I'm just kind of adding some of this rough texture. And seeing that. And I can work on all this shadow and this reflectivity at a later date. I'm not gonna worry about all that right now. But as I go in and I start to bring this darker, hopefully that makes it look like my letters are more kind of like pressed in. And part of the texture of, I think this is like a little leather badge. But it should feel like that. And as I'm looking, I'm spending more time looking actually at my photograph, my photo reference, than at my paper, which can be a little scary at times. And then I'm just trying to really match my values. So I keep going in, pushing them a little bit further if I think they're too light in places, lightening them up in others if I needed to. And of course, I can do a few little blotches to make it feel a little leathery. I want it to have that kind of organic, leathery feel. So I'm kind of going back over my texture or over my shading to texturize it a little bit and start to mess around with that. Some of those kind of organic shapes. But for what we're doing in level 1, I think this will be a pretty achievable effect for a lot of you. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.